What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how quarterbacks can throw 50 plus yards and increase the distance on their deep throws. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it could teach you a few new things, but also, fellas, if you are a quarterback and you want to know how you can read defenses, check out that very first link in the description below. You could get access to 500 plus videos, all broken down just like this one, where we discuss the best play concepts to work against different defenses, how to identify different defenses. You get the leg up on the competition as a quarterback. Also, we categorize each specific 3 to 5 minute long video in different spots like man coverage, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, all the way down the gamut, so you guys can have easy info, easy access, and it's easy to learn. So check out that very first link in the description below if you are interested, fellas. Let's get started with this video. So we're going to be looking at this monster throw here from Patrick Mahomes, and we're pretty much just going to talk about how any quarterback can increase their deep ball by doing these simple things. And I want to make this clear. Every single quarterback is different. Every single quarterback is not Patrick Mahomes. Every single quarterback is not Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's got their own unique body type, their own unique motion, but there are certain things that all of the best guys do that will help them improve their arm strength, and that's what you should try to add to your game in obviously your own unique way, to your own unique motion. You never want to try to be like any one quarterback. You want to be yourself, but you want to be the most efficient version of yourself. So we're looking at this story from Mahomes, and I want to pay heavy attention to his base, his hips, his shoulders, and his release point. I think that's the key to be able to throw a great deep ball that turns over like this, finishes with some distance, and is obviously an accurate pass for my wide receiver who ends up coming up with the ball. So let's talk about this. So first things first, it starts at the base, much like anything else at the quarterback position. So when you guys are throwing deep, you guys want to have pretty much, I would say, 65 to 75% of your weight loaded onto your back leg. Something that I tell my quarterbacks to help them get their weight back on a deep ball is I say that your head wants to be even with your back foot. A lot of times what quarterbacks will do is they'll have their head like down the middle of their body, their head will be shifted forward, and a lot of their body weight goes to the front leg. Now, the reason why you want to have your weight loaded onto your back leg for a deep ball is pretty much one of three things. Number one, that weight that you have on your back leg, you guys want to take that weight and transfer it to your front leg. That weight transfer is what gets your hips to rotate through and your core to rotate through. A lot of people ask me like, hey, what does that weight transfer feel like? What am I supposed to feel on the weight transfer? Something I say is that you want to shift the weight from quad to quad. Like you see the outside part of Mahomes' leg right here. You want to take that weight on the back leg and you want to shift the weight to the outside part of the quad, because that will get your hips and your core to rotate through, which can generate power. Now, that's not the only reason that you want to have weight on your back leg, like 65 to 75%. You also want to have that weight on your back leg so you can arc your shoulders. If you're trying to throw like a deep fade, a deep post, maybe a deep like high angle corner, you obviously got to put some air on the ball, right? You got to have that perfect trajectory. Now, I'll tell my quarterbacks, hey, you want to be at a 45-degree angle with your shoulders. That's kind of just an expression, right? It doesn't need to be a perfect 45, but you want to try to get there the best you can, and you will not be able to arc your shoulders if you do not have that weight loaded on your back leg. I can't tell you how many quarterbacks, when they release that ball, they're not able to snap their wrist at the top here like Mahomes. They're not able to follow through. It's almost like a shot put because the ball goes up this way because they don't have any arc of their shoulder due to their base. They will hitch up on a throw and they will have their weight forward. Their head will be forward. It won't be even with their back foot, so it's physically impossible to arc your shoulders. All of you watching this could try it right now. Take the weight off your back leg, shift weight, like put all of your weight onto your front foot, like lean forward, and then try to arc your shoulders. It's super awkward. You feel a weird stretch right here, and it's not consistent. So we need my weight back so I could transfer. We need my weight back so I could arc, but also so I could put myself into a position of hip and shoulder dissociation. So not only when your weight's on your back leg is it easier to arc your shoulders, it's also easier to rotate your shoulders. You see how Mahomes' front side, I know this guy blocks it for a second here, but you see how his front shoulder is closing and going back? That promotes that like backstroke position, right? Where he takes the football back, his front shoulder closes. You guys cannot get to this position where your upper body is separate from your lower body if you don't have weight on your back leg. Now, why is it important to get to this spot? That puts you in something called hip and shoulder dissociation, which is a really fancy, kind of a stupid term to tell you that your shoulders are separate from your hips. I wish people would just say that. instead of trying to sound smart. You hear a lot of quarterback coaches out there saying all these fancy kinesiology words. Like, how about you make it simple so the kids that you're actually trying to teach and the athletes you're actually trying to teach understand what you're saying? So that's what I'm trying to do here. So it's about separating the upper body from the lower body, because when your lower body is ripping through first, right, your hips are driving to the target. Your front foot at this point, when your shoulders are closed, is already down into the ground. That hip rotation, that back hip driving through, that's what creates that external rotation with your arm where that ball dips back. Now, do you have to get to that exact external rotation spot? No, but that is caused from that back hip driving through, front hip opening up, aka the weight transfer from your lower body after the front foot's down. But when all of this happens before the arm comes through, that creates a whip. That creates a whipping effect. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like it's always fun this time of year when like they play Hard Knocks, and it's so cool this year because they have Aaron Rodgers. But when you see the quarterbacks throw in real time, you see how fast their freaking arm moves, right? And all that's like that whip, that whipping effect. And that comes from that hip and shoulder separation. When the front foot gets down into the ground and your shoulders are loaded back, the ball is loaded back, and those hips clear first, there's so much velocity on your arm, so much arm speed, and so much velocity and distance on the ball. That's the recipe for power. Because as a rotational athlete, that hip and shoulder separation, or dissociation as people call it, that's something called torque. Torque comes from your hips going through before the shoulders and the ball do. Very similar to a hitter of a baseball. So, and even with the deep ball, it is the same exact thing. If you guys are familiar with my videos, we don't normally talk about these types of mechanics on a deeper pass. We just talk about it in general. We'll show a quarterback throwing in general. We'll show all that stuff when we talk about hip and shoulder dissociation. The only thing that changes is the shoulders staying back, shoulders arcing. That's the difference, is that you arc and you stay back same way you would on a pass over the middle, like a dig, a slant, whatever it is, right? So again, like we said, it's like hitting a baseball. When you have the baseball bat back here, you're in the batter's box, pitcher throws you a pitch, you take a step to the target, that front foot is down, but does the bat come through? No, your weight's still loaded back here. The bat's still back here. Front foot hits, then what do? You squish the back bug, hips come through, bat follows. Bam, that's torque, and that's how that ball can jump off your bat. Quarterbacks and hitters, guys, they generate power the exact same way. So that's the key. That's how you guys are going to throw further. Now, a mistake that a lot of guys will make is they'll get to this position, shoulders will go back, they'll have the arc of the shoulder, but this front foot takes forever to get down. And so that front foot doesn't get down when your shoulders are here. They call this timing. That front foot, when it makes contact with the ground, is when your shoulders are starting to come open and the arm is at a 90 degree like so. And when that front foot makes contact at the time your shoulder is coming open, those shoulders will go through before the hips. That front foot needs to get down, needs to anchor into the ground when we are here. Shoulders are back, so those hips can go through. But if that front foot takes forever and it hits the ground and your front shoulder's already starting to come open, it's not the hips bringing the shoulders through, that's when we lose power. So we need to make sure that we have a short, natural stride whenever I'm doing this. So now, icing on the cake, the whole reason you arc your shoulders, the whole reason you have your weight back, the whole reason we're trying to get to dissociation, so we can throw the ball further, right? But if you guys let go of the ball down here, low, late, early, however you want to think of it, that ball will not go anywhere. You have to finish up at the top of the throw. So you have to snap your release up top, almost like you're grabbing something off of the top shelf, like you're shooting a free throw. Those are two analogies that I use with my quarterbacks to get that ball to take off upward. If you're trying to throw the ball further, you're not going to bullet it. Patrick Mahomes, like, he's got a cannon for an arm. He could probably throw the ball 80, 85 yards, right? But if he's going to throw the ball 80, 85 yards, he's not going to throw it on a line. He needs a trajectory to it. He needs that ball to have some energy going upward and then come back down. And if your release point is low, that ball is not going to get the arc that we need. So guys, that's the key. If you guys want to throw this thing further, you got to focus on these like 4 topics that we covered in this video. Weight being back, 65 to 75%. 45 with the shoulders, right? That's the second reason. Make sure we are transferring weight. Make sure we are getting to that hip and shoulder separation. Front foot touches the ground when that front shoulder is closed. Those hips got to bring the ball through, and we got to snap my release at the top. If you guys can work on those things, trust me when I say this, you will see more distance on your deep ball. And like I said, everybody's different. Mahomes, you see how low he drops the ball there? You see how he kind of like maybe takes a little bit longer stride than somebody like maybe Rodgers or Brady or whoever. Like I said, guys, everybody is different, but there are mechanically efficient things that all quarterbacks do that are at the top of their game, that have cannons of arms, and that's what you want to try to add to your game. Everybody's different, like I said. Pull these things to your game, and you will see your deep ball increase. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. Always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you would like 500 plus videos, all based on how quarterbacks can read defenses, check out that very first link in the description below. They're 500 3 to 5 minute long clips just like this one. So it's a lot of info, fellas. Really great for you to learn. So again, very first link in that description below. I'll see you guys next time.